I love that Kev is saying no to Steve-O, and hopefully this is going to help his relationship with Lewis and everybody grow even more, because honestly he's actually been so sweet for Lewis's birthday and everything, so yeah, it's cute. Gabby collapsed. Honestly, she's taken this healthy eating thing far too far, and obviously she's even doing it with medicine now, like she won't take the pill. And then Dawn's went and told Billy, like, Gabby hated that, didn't she? She hated that Dawn went and told, but I do understand why Dawn did it, and it's not because of what Gabby's saying. Like, Gabby thinks it's because Dawn's just jealous and all of that, and I don't think it's that at all. She's meant to say because she's trying to help Billy and protect her. Poor Lewis's birthday got wrecked with all the shenanigans. I actually don't think that Kev has done this. I don't think he's done anything. He's obviously hiding something. I don't know what it is, but I definitely don't think that he's done anything. I think that obviously they went up to Home Farm. He said that he stopped Tom, and yeah, he stopped Steve-O doing it. Why would Steve-O do this to Kev, honestly? But now it's just made a massive situation with Kev and Lewis, which is just so sad because they were getting on so well. Joe is desperate to find out what Caleb's up to. Obviously he was close to finding out today, and now he's got Graham on the case to try and find out, so I'm pretty sure that Graham's going to do this. But what is Joe going to do when he finds out? Joe's basically angry because Caleb was trying to protect Noah a little bit and say, look, stop doing what you're doing, leave him alone, Joe. And yeah, Joe didn't like that, so now he's getting involved. I also feel like with this cash scamming, that like when Joe finds out what it is, that he'll say to Caleb that he needs to let him get involved. He'll like blackmail him that he needs to let him get involved. I feel horrible for poor Lewis. Obviously, Vinny's lied about what really happened with Kev, and I do understand why Vinny's lied about it. I know that he's trying to protect Lewis. I know that he never ever wants Lewis to be in a situation that he was ever in, and I get it. But like, he still shouldn't have lied about it, and I just feel like Lewis is going to be so broken-hearted when he finds out that actually Vinny was completely lying and that wasn't really how it happened. Well, Graham has well and truly found out what Caleb is up to. The question is now, what is Joe going to do about it? Because if he takes this to the police, it's going to implicate Billy as well, and then Billy being the father of Dawn's kids, that kind of makes it a little bit more complicated. So yeah, who knows what Joe's going to do, but I definitely feel like Joe's going to use it to his advantage somehow, some way or another. Also, speaking of Dawn and Billy, basically they played that little game with the kids and stuff. I feel like, I didn't think that Billy was still holding like any kind of torch for her or anything, but I feel like maybe he is still holding a little bit of a torch for her and some feelings for her, because yeah, he went to kiss her, didn't he? So yeah, maybe he is. I mean, Joe asking Billy to be a groomsman was all playing games, wasn't it? What is Joe up to? Like, I think he's seen them kissing yesterday, and I think that's what his problem is. Ross got punched for Steve-O when he was trying to do Home Farm and trying to rob the Home Farm, but then obviously Steve-O's dropped Serena on it, so yeah, what's going to happen with Ross and Serena? Like, what's Ross going to do now? I'm happy and I'm proud of Vinny for telling the truth about Kev, because honestly that took a lot of guts, and I'm glad that it means that Lewis and Kev can get back on the right track, and yeah, that just makes me so happy. And I'm proud that Kev actually took it well and was like, look, I'm happy that you were just looking out for him, and I understand that. So yeah, that was really cool. I loved the scene of Lewis and Kev when they made back up, and Vinny and Kev in the park as well was so good. I'm glad Claudette made Steve go for Kev's sake, if nothing else, because I just feel like he would have got Kev into trouble eventually. I'm so obsessed with the boys saying I love you to each other. It was so cute. I love these two so much. Ross has just put Serena on guard now. That was silly, but yeah. Caleb is so stupid telling Joe. I don't know why he did that, but he's told him now, so what can you do? So obviously now he's fuming, and we're obviously thinking that Joe's the one that's plotted some sort of revenge, because obviously Billy, that looked like a lot of blood. Billy is on the floor lying, covered with blood. Like, that looked like so much blood actually pouring from his head. So yeah, who's hurt him? How has this happened? So many questions. Who's going to find him? Like, I just love Kev's relationship with Claudette. It's the cutest thing in the world. And obviously he's found out now about her paying Steve off, and obviously he's really grateful, but he wants to get her money back. So I actually hope that he does get Claudette's money back, because she totally deserves it. Now, I thought this was Joe at first and I was convinced, but now I'm not. Watching today's episode and seeing what's happened, I'm convinced that it's actually Caleb that has done it himself because he's trying to get Joe out of the way of everything. That's what I think. I feel so bad for Billy himself because he doesn't deserve this, and I feel bad for Dawn too because, like, that's the father of her kids no matter what anybody says, and she's having to be there and watch that, and it must be absolutely horrible. So Kit has told Shona and David about Jodie, like, being the one to hit Sarah on the head that night, so obviously they know what's happened now with that. And yeah, I feel for Shona, she's got so much going on, and like, she has to know that her sister's done this. Also Lily's got Jodie's trinket box, so yeah, what's going to happen with that? Sam made a dress. I thought that was so cute, and I'm actually genuinely so proud of Sam. Like, the way that he's came back, the way that he's actually saying, look, you can't make me a baby, and like, I think he's realised that he's going to have schizophrenia forever no matter what, and it's something that he's going to have to live with and deal with in his life no matter what comes his way, but he's absolutely strong enough to do it. Also, obviously Ollie started at speed dial, which Ben wasn't happy about. I mean, Cassie's trying anything to stop it, like, to get at Ross. Honestly, I think Ross said something to that woman though. I actually do, because obviously he overheard Cassie talking to her, so I'm convinced that he's went and said something to her. But yeah, Cassie just wants rid of him as soon as possible. Harper's home, that was actually really cute, although it did upset Sam when David trust him, but I'm glad that he had Idris because Idris helped, although Idris has now got this threat for Abby because of obviously what happened with Alfie and everything. But yeah, it was nice that Harper finally got to come home, and that was needed, and they've been waiting for ages for that, so although obviously she spoiled it. So Jodie walked back in. Jodie's apparently told the police what she did to Sarah, and they've let her out on bail. So she's walked back in and she's been like, oh my god, I've nowhere to stay, blah blah blah. But it's turned out that Lily has told David about the gun. So David ain't gonna, there's no way that David's gonna fight to keep her there. And yeah, Lily's told them, so she needs to show him it now, and I think when David finds that box, Jodie is in a load of trouble, let me tell you. Well, I mean, Jodie, what is she actually playing at? Obviously, she's had the real gun, and, like, basically, she's brought this toy one out and pretended to David and Shona. I can't believe that David and Shona actually thought that that was true, especially with all the lies that Jodie's told. Like, I can't believe they actually thought that she was telling the truth. Very much to Cassie's complete disappointment, Ross is obviously sticking around because basically he's got this job at the prison service and Tyrone wants him around. I mean, I feel like Tyrone's never really had a proper dad, apart from Jack, of course, who he absolutely still loves and adored. And unfortunately, obviously, we don't have Jack with us anymore, but, like, I feel like now that he's actually got the chance to know that he's real dad, and he seems to share, like, a lot of similar interests, he really actually wants to know him. And I don't think that Ross is a bad guy. I think he's done things in his past, obviously, but, like, I'm not entirely convinced that he's just a wrong-un or a bad guy or anything like that. I'm going to be so real, I didn't expect this twist. I didn't expect that I just was going to tell Alia that he was actually her uncle because he's Sharif's son, and that he's Cal's half-brother. I really didn't expect that at all. Like, that was a little bit of a twist. Yeah, but it kind of makes a little bit of sense as to why Yasmin hasn't really bothered about him before. But yeah, and now he wants to obviously take speed dial off Alia. I feel like it would be good if he taken it off Alia, because obviously Alia's got a lot going on with, like, her lawyer work and everything like that, so yeah, taking speed dial off her wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But the question is, like, does he want to do it for the right reasons? Because I'm not entirely convinced that he does. Jodie is still nicking off kids. Obviously, those kids were picking on Harry and Lily, and I'm glad that Jodie's stuck up for them. But then, obviously, she's taken their football off them for Harry. I mean, what has Brody done to that Persian, all because of a dress? Honestly, he's so dodgy. I'm not gonna lie, he sucked me in. It absolutely had me believing him. Until he did that to Cassie at the end, he had me believing him that, like, he didn't know that she was 15 and that, you know, like, it was a complete mistake and everything else. And he really had me believing that could have been the case. Because I can imagine that Cassie could have looked older, so he had me believing that, like, it could have been the case until that very end. And oh my gosh, he's nasty. So Abby and Idris seem to work it out, so Idris is going to pay her. I mean, I feel like that was kind of the fairest way. I don't know how much it would have stood up in court because I kind of understood what Alia was saying, so yeah, maybe Alia was right. I know she was trying to do it to look out for her uncle at the same time, but I do think she's right. Absolutely loving Asha and Sienna. It's so cute. I genuinely think that, like, I don't know why Sienna keeps running off though. Like, I think there's a lot more to it. I'm thinking maybe it's she trying to care for someone, like in her own family or something. I also don't know. I don't think it was Sienna that took Nina's tips, and if she did, I think there's a like reasonable explanation for it. Although she maybe should have asked. But yeah. Poor Betsy, well, at least she's coming home. Obviously, she got some good news that she's going to come home, although you can understand she felt very nervous about it. She had so many questions and was wondering, like, how it was all going to work, which you can completely understand. So yeah, I think it's going to be a journey of watching her come home and navigate things at home and how she's going to cope with just being around the house again and not being in a hospital environment anymore. Well, guys, Ross has well and truly hurt Tracy. Poor Tracy, actually, because he's the one that's done this to her. Tracy didn't deserve that. She didn't do anything wrong. She done nothing but try and stick up for him and be there for him, and all of a sudden, he's put that drug in her because Cassie obviously drugged his, like, drink that Amy had made for them, and then obviously he gave it to Tracy, and yeah, Tracy's now injured, and she's very drowsy and hurt. Betsy came home, that was good news. Obviously Lisa's been overprotective mum because you just would know that she would be. Nina's money has been found, so it wasn't Sienna. It was so lovely to have Debbie home, but it was also really sad to watch her still being really confused. Obviously she forgot who Tim was at Sally's little party thing. I love that Sally's got a pizza then, like, of course she does. Yeah, that was all absolutely amazing, but it was sad to see that Debbie's obviously didn't realise who Tim was. So Steve found the dihydrocodeine in Cassie's pocket, so he has worked out quite clearly that it was her, obviously, that did this. I don't think Cassie's fully responsible. I think Cassie's telling the truth that she only put a couple of tablets in. I think Ross put more than that in. Ross added some, and then obviously Tracy was the one that ended up drinking it. So yeah, but like Cassie's just been left on the street because obviously they think that she's fully responsible for it and it was totally her and everything else. So yeah.